aPriori delivers valuable cost insight at every stage of the product lifecycle, so we can get to market faster with a product we can sell at the greatest margin. The best cost-conscious companies begin costing early on in design, where changes can easily be made that positively impact the cost of goods sold, or COGS. During the design of the seats and armrest here, many factors need to be considered around safety and ergonomics, as well as fit, form and function. But increasingly, a proportion of engineers need to be thinking about cost. Directly from the CAD model, the design team can access live cost information through aPriori. This ticker box tells us how much we expect to pay for this part based on some fundamental factors, including the geometry. Right now, this part costs $1.68, but as the design evolves, the engineer adjusts the size of the part as a potential solution to an emerging need. That's what engineers need to primarily focus on, but what is the impact on cost? Is there a cheaper solution? As this particular change has increased the size of the sheet metal part, we would expect to see the price increase, yes? Well, no, quite the contrary. Based on this new cost, the engineers just saved the company around $80,000 per year, and that's just one simple change to a simple part. But why is that? Well, most design engineers don't really have time to explore why this is. They just need to know the direction of cost as a design evolves and changes. That is aPriori's first piece of insight. However, cost and manufacturing engineers do need to understand. aPriori is actually bringing that knowledge earlier in the life cycle to add significant value. aPriori has analysed this part based on the material, volumes and production location to select progressive die as the optimal manufacturing process. It has also worked out the cost of the 9-station tool, the overheads, labour, etc. Material utilisation has also been calculated, and as you can see, the new design can be nested optimally, thus reducing process wastage and making the part cheaper to produce. aPriori, just like our company's executive team, wants to make this part cost effectively. Now, all product development stakeholders can easily see cost drivers and make better decisions during the initial design as well as future engineering change processes. As a design progresses, cost-conscious engineers can ask aPriori for guidance on design to cost, or DTC principles. Directly from the CAD environment, they can access aPriori's manufacturing expertise based on the very geometry they are creating. For this injection molded part, they can see how cost-effective their material selection is relative to other materials. Is there a cheaper option that still performs the requirement? Or could we use another material or change the design to make it cool quicker in the tool and reduce the process cost? All these areas marked with red dots have wall thicknesses larger than recommended. If I can reduce the size of them without impacting product performance, I will make the part cool quicker, use less material, and potentially improve quality, all again saving cost. All these design features here use deep thin walls and sharp edges, making tool manufacture more expensive, time-consuming and difficult to modify. It may also limit my options for potential vendors. Changing the design now could reduce costs. aPriori provides similar guidance to other manufacturing processes, such as machining, where the geometry can have a dramatic impact on cycle time and therefore cost. Now with aPriori, in parallel with early design, sourcing and procurement teams can collaborate on the same cost model for the parts and bills of material. Manufacturing engineers use the same environment to automatically cost assembly and welding processes. Additional cost information for free issue items, packaging, logistics, etc. can complete a full costing that will mature with the design, thus giving early insight into target cost alignment. We now have the ability to take action in time if we are not likely to hit budget. For the suppliers, aPriori provides a tool for responding to RFQs at lightning speed, accurately and consistently, giving visibility to margin and risk exposure. The time saved can be used by the bid team to provide value-add services to their client, thus allowing them to win more business at the right margin. Both suppliers and OEMs can use aPriori's virtual production environments to evaluate multiple sourcing strategies. Is it more affordable to manufacture this bomb across multiple regions? What batch sizes are cost effective? In fact, I can ask many more questions and evaluate many scenarios. aPriori can identify the most cost-effective strategies early on, so purchasing have enough time to set up the potentially complex supplier ecosystem. The cost model continues to provide insight as we move into production, so we can evaluate the impact of change, not only from engineering change orders, but from external factors like volume increases or supplier closures. In fact, with so much volatility in raw material prices today, having a complete and accurate cost model based on an evolving design configuration is a powerful tool for decision making. Having the ability to automatically cost thousands of parts over their life cycle gives companies a greater level of insight. They now have powerful data assets that allow engineering, manufacturing and sourcing teams to focus their attention on the most significant cost drivers for their products. Design outliers here are parts that are more expensive than expected. Design and value engineering can then identify which parts to focus their valuable resources on for potential cost reduction. Again, this can be done much earlier in the design lifecycle, where the cost of change is considerably lower and less risky. During the quotation stages, before production, purchasing can identify parts which are quoted at prices higher than aPriori predicts. Based on anticipated volumes, it shows the parts that provide the most lucrative negotiation opportunities. But quite often these differences are due to many factors such as supplier process capability or their general business model. But again, aPriori gives early insight, so collaboration, redesign or resourcing can be undertaken in time. Most importantly, the business now has a way of tracking value and actual cost savings. These metrics support the measurement of business KPIs, they inform strategy and give direction to the many stakeholders in the business focused on keeping costs down. In today's global economy with so much innovation and product complexity, it is even more vital to ensure that the cost of the product is understood and driven down from the earliest parts of the product lifecycle. aPriori does this to reduce the cost of goods sold and remove unnecessary effort and time from the product development process.